Hey there, I appreciate y'all being flexible, especially with the rain going on. I couldn't hear y'all earlier, had to log out and back in. I'm not sure. You guys can hear me okay?
Yes, we get you.
Okay, all righty.
All
Present.
right. Yep, we are going to go ahead and call this meeting to order, and I appreciate everybody taking time out today. The minutes were sent out ahead of time, but I'll give you just a minute to glance over them one last time, and then I'll need a motion to approve them.
All right, this is Joe. I move to approve the minutes as presented.
All right, do I have a second?
A second.
All right, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, so let's jump right into the business of it. We will turn it over to Fran to give us a director's report.
So just to recap, we're fairly busy the last few months with ABLE events and appearances. In September, Chris co-presented at an event in Fort Smith at the Arc of the River Valley. And then Chris and I both attended the Head Start regional meeting in Jonesboro in September. October was busy. Joseph, we were with you at the National Disability Awareness Month event at the Capitol, and had a table at a developmentally disabled magic show that was at UCA that we participated for in a second year now. Had a table at the Arkansas Down Syndrome Association Fair at the Access School. I was one of 4 panelists for a National ABLE webinar in October, and also attended a 529 ABLE conference in Florida in October. In November, Chris presented to the Morrilton Rotary. And then coming up in December, and I think you all are joining us, Dave, for this. We're presenting the ABLE plan to a group called Rainbow of Challenges, and we're specifically meeting with them about the rep payee model for the ABLE plan. They are a service provider to children and adults in Southeast Arkansas for children and adults with developmental disabilities. So you all will be, as Census, will be joining us on that present mobile or virtual presentation. And I believe was the other thing we're going to go into so the other item for the director's report, I'm actually going to hand it over to Chris. You all may remember in previous meetings, we've talked about final Treasury regulations that we needed to bring our plan up to be aligned with the federal changes that went into effect. And on November 20th, so about 2 weeks ago, all the plans had to be in compliance with the federal changes that were adopted by the IRS. And these changes had to do with the hierarchy, which is what you all had approved us adopting to let rep payees be added to that hierarchy or that priority for authorized individuals. Second issue has to do with documentation, and then the third is successor accounts being established. So I'm going to let Chris kind of just give a quick overview of what those changes are and to bring you all up to speed on that.
Yeah, so just kind of piggybacking on what Fran said, around the same time as the census started implementing some of the final regulations from the IRS, there was also contract renegotiations and everything like that. So along with the things that Fran mentioned, it presented the opportunity to go ahead and dive into the program description, rewrite it 5 or 6 times for a final draft to reflect the new lower account maintenance fees rather. The biggest thing with implementing the hierarchy is it just eliminated 4 or 5 different authorization levels and kind of lumped it into 1 or 2 essentially. And So, we're looking forward to future improvements too, a year or two down the road, I think is gonna be the online entity enrollment and account management for rec pays, so I'll have one login, I understand, be able to manage all of their clients'
Multiple
accounts on their behalf. And also in the future, entities calling in will have their own telephone prompt for calling in from an organization. And successor account owner and successor authorized individuals are coming up down the pipeline too. So
That's great.
that's all I had.
So do you have any questions about that, Christie or Joe?
No, none here.
I did not.
All right, I think that will do it for our report.
Hey, Fran, before you go on, can I ask a quick question for the program?
Yes.
Do y'all have travel dollars? And I'll tell you why I'm asking that here in a minute.
Yeah, so what we have done is we've run them through the office's appropriation. We have some travel dollars allotted specifically for ABLE 529 financial education. There's a whole block that's specific for that, and we have a sub line in there for travel.
Okay, reason I'm asking is, you guys already know this. We're having challenges getting the disability community into our offices, and right now with employment so low, but not low within that community. The biggest barrier is the impact of earnings on their existing benefits. And ABLE was mentioned. I went to a national conference for VR administrators last month, and the big talk was in each state, increasing the visibility of the ABLE Act, and we've talked about that to the disability community and it's how it relates to employment. So we have open houses across the state at our various field offices, and I just was wondering, within a reasonable driving distance, would y'all be able to present at some of those events to the counselors and to some of the clients who come in?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely love to have those conversations, Joe. Just follow up with Chris or with me and let us know kind of, do you have some already schedules for?
Yes, and so I'll get you that schedule, just like y'all shared your events with me. I'll get you something. And if you can make it, it'd be great, because we really do need to raise this awareness there. The folks that we're trying to deal with now do not want to come into our offices and get services because they're worried about those benefits. So whatever we can help them understand about the savings plan would help.
Absolutely. Yes, let us know.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so the next item is a proposal from the National ABLE Alliance regarding some investment management and some additions that they're making to the portfolio. So this was sent out, the recommendation was sent out ahead of time?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm hoping you've had a chance to kind of read through it, but essentially what's going on is reviewing the high yield fixed income section of the investment portfolio. They're requesting a new manager, for lack of a better term, over that. And they're recommending the American Funds High Income Trust to be added to the aggressive and moderately aggressive options within the portfolio for individuals. They went through 4 different finalists, and this was a pretty extensive search and vetting process. What I've seen and the conversations that I've had around this, I'm comfortable with where they're going with it. But I would be glad, I can try to answer any additional questions, but we do need to get formal approval for us to then vote yes in the alliance that we approve this addition to the investment options.
Well, Grant, I'll defer to you all. You guys are experts there. If you're feeling comfortable with it, I am as well.
Okay.
I am too. I read over it before the meeting and I didn't see any concerns that I had.
Okay. Well, I will go ahead and put it upon myself. I make a motion that we approve the recommendation from the National Able Alliance, and I just need a second.
Second.
All right, all those in favor, aye.
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 All right, thank you all very much. Now, live in the flesh and in person, we actually have Dave Ponder in town. He was here. We were able to squeeze both our 529 meeting and our Able meeting into one day. So we just made a really long day for him, and we brought him into town. So I'm gonna turn it over to him to give us an update from a census.
Brad, you know, there's no such thing as a long day.
That's
They're all pleasurable, all pleasurable days. So do you want to shoot this up on the screen?
Yes.
Chris, thank you.
While I'm pulling that up, I see that I've missed a chat bubble. Did anybody have any questions?
That must have been a mistake.
That may have been me when I told you guys I couldn't hear anybody. I
Oh,
popped out.
okay, sorry.
Cool.
Is that shared?
Yes.
Yeah, so the first slide, just starting off as the end of October, you've got right at 3.5 million in assets. The one thing every time we go through this presentation, I point out is that, you know, we have the 5 to 9 meeting before we have this meeting, and the charts look a lot different. The equity exposures here are very limited, so it all looks very positive. If you saw the 5 to 9 charts, they're all over the place with the ups and downs of the market. So it's the people participating in the Able plan certainly can sleep well at night.
And just before you jump off that slide, I just want to note that we're at nearly 500,000 in earnings for the year, which in this year,
Yeah,
and this
yeah.
point, I mean, I cannot overemphasize how incredible that really looks. And just to have weathered the July and the August and the negative in September as well as it has, speaks a lot for the makeup of these portfolios and the underlying investment options. They're very solid.
And part of the reason why there's a lot of people like that is because of the options that people are choosing in the plan. It's the top 2 options are moderate and checking. Checking, of course, really has no risk exposure. But 33% of the assets are in the moderate option, and 25% assets are in checking. So that really helps smooth out those lines as well. On contributions by month, just a quick one. I know this is a big bar chart, but the 5 months of the past, well, since January, 5 months this year have had greater contributions than the previous year: February, March, July, August, and September. So that's good. Now, April, I'm not sure why we had such a high level of contributions in April of 2021, but it really kind of stands out and skews the chart a little bit.
Was there a stimulus?
That was different. That's right. And then look at the next slide, contributions by type. We're seeing a lot of checks come in, but we're also seeing a lot of EBTs. In fact, the electronic and the physical checks are pretty close to being the same. So it's interesting to see that there's a huge variance between what we see in check contributions in this plan versus what we see in regular 529, where we see very few checks until the very end of the year. And then distributions by month. Basically, we did see when we look back, we saw that 8 months this year have had greater distributions than the year before. But this is a spending account, right? That's what the plan is for, is to take immediate distribution. So it's being used for its purpose. And then you look at distribution by type. The withdrawal at the bank, that's you basically using your ATM card to make purchases at stores. So it's making up by 53% of the withdrawals, and then second followed by qualified to a counter. People are using the card to make their everyday purchases. And distribution by age group. The only thing I've got to say here is that, like we see in previous meetings, the younger groups are the ones that are spending more than the other age groups. And then due accounts by month. I do want to point out that June, July, and August were really, really great compared to previous years. The other thing I'll say is that we're seeing 70% of the enrollment online, which is really, really good. It's not quite there with regular 529, but that's a really high level of online activity. Accounts by disability type, I really don't have any comments there, just for their information, as is the eligibility custodian type. And then when you look at closed accounts by month, basically you just kind of see that we're trending less than we had in the previous year, which is always a good sign. It looks like most of the months that we have less closures than last year for the same time frame. And then how did you hear? Organization continues to lead the way, and more people are saying that they heard about the plan. So that's great work within the state. And that's all I have. Any questions on it? Pretty good. Thank you.
All right. With that, is there any new business to come before the committee? All right, well, this is the last committee meeting that Treasurer Milligan or I will chair. I just want to say how much he has appreciated the dedication and work that not only the staff, but this committee has done to get this program up and running. It is one of the crown jewels for him when he's out talking about the work that he's been able to accomplish and his legacy. So I know it was quite a lift to bring a brand new program like this to the state. I know we kind of were a little bit slow to the draw after the legislation was picked up, but I can say I think all the right decisions were made along the way. And I think when you look at the number of individuals that are being impacted on this on a daily basis, and the change that we're able to make in those individuals' lives, it's all been worth it and is a complete success. But I do want to pass along his thanks to you all for sticking in there, month in, month out, quarter in, quarter out, and helping us get to this point and knowing that the baton is going to be passed in a very solid state, and just look forward to seeing kind of the next chapter and where this program gets to go in the future. So thank you all very, very much.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Grant. And just to pass back to y'all, you and your staff, you're the responsible for all of this, the expertise that you guys bring to the table, and the way you help support this program along has been phenomenal. So appreciate y'all as well. And Fran helping me out to get the word out is a vital thing. So thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
I agree with Joe. Y'all have done a great job.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right, with that, we will stand adjourned, and happy holidays and stay safe.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.
Bye. Bye, Christy. Bye, Joe.
Bye.